love Hallmark Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
Hey, I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, week 2 is here already, everybody. Happy Halloween week. Happy week of Christmas movies to everyone who celebrates. It's great to be back here.
The world we live in, Brand, is we've by the end of this week, we'll have finished 9 new Christmas movies before Halloween. That's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the first weekend, a real weekend of regular movie watching.
Yeah.
And already I'm a little overwhelmed.
No.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a hefty schedule.
It's hefty.
Well, we come in here and try to do all of them on Monday too, so it probably doesn't.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is it obtainable?
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we?
We'll
I think
see.
it's supposed to not be a little bit.
That's right.
Isn't it supposed to be hard?
That's right. We said
We
last
don't
year was too easy.
Yeah,
too
took it
easy.
easy on
Too easy.
ourselves.
Let's do it all.
We don't
in
do
one day.
things because they're easy.
That's right. We do things because
We
it's the
thought
right
they
thing
would
to
be
do.
easy. Oh, because it's the right thing.
I don't know.
You thought they'd be.
We're excited today to talk about this time each year, Hallmark Mystery. You know, it's the Hallmark Mystery because of the pensive piano that plays throughout the movie.
The gunshot? No. You guys didn't hear
Gunshot?
gunshot?
I heard.
Did we watch
heard
the
one.
same movie?
Yeah, we did.
I had a gunshot at the beginning of the mysteries.
This time each year could
set
have
the
been the
tone.
name of 5-year Christmas party.
It could have been.
Hey, you're right. That's a great point.
It
didn't
could
think
have
about
been.
that.
This time each year. What does that title mean?
This time each
I think it's
year.
the December 22nd date that they do every year, but I don't like the title. I think it's a bad
I hadn't
title
really
for
thought
that
about
movie.
It. I hadn't really thought about it.
Same here.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it. Anyway, that's for later. For now, it's great to be back here on Philo.tv/DTH. Hopefully you're watching us and you see me doing
Hey,
what am I doing?
Quit it,
This
Brad.
is quick.
Watch out.
Oh, my
Watch
God.
Good.
Philo.tv/DTH to see me do magic tricks like that, and also to watch all these movies that we're talking about. It's going to be a big, full season on Philo, and the DVR can handle it. It's
unlimited.
so you can just save them all, and you'll be good to go for the entire season. Really excited about that DVR.
Dude, it's in the one button ad skip. We were watching this movie
Clutch.
just before we recorded this. The one button ad skip, Brand.
It saves so much time.
Oh yeah,
You'd
About
still
it.
be watching.
yeah.
I
Pretty
would say
much.
if we didn't have Philo, we'd still be
So
watching it.
my
to
math
this day.
checks out.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding of it as well. So Philo.tv/DTH if you want to join the fun and watch us. I think we're pretty good. I think like looking at us, we're not
You
like
think we're pretty good, huh?
I think we're okay. I mean, I don't think anybody's watching being like hubba, but
Yeah.
they're not like
The set does a lot of the
It's
work.
like
The set
most
is
of
really
the Christmas
nice.
slate this year for Hallmark. It's like, well, that could have been worse.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's not terrible.
and that's really all
either.
you're hoping for.
Yeah.
But what we lack, I think Philo makes up for
For
with
sure,
the amount of stuff
100%.
that they
Yes.
have on the platform. It's really phenomenal. You know what else is phenomenal is this game right here, Christmas Movie Magic. It is a card game that we've released in partnership with Fink and Fink Games, and it is blowing up, is my understanding. It's blowing up.
The people are loving it.
It's available now on the Amazon. You can go to deckthehallmark.com/game to find it easily and purchase it and play it. I think it's a lot of fun. And Aaron, you've been playing it by yourself or with all the people that you hang out with all the time if you want to, but you can play it by yourself if you want to, or with all the people, all your friends.
Yeah.
How is it by yourself?
It's
though?
great.
Yeah.
I've found that I'm like
Who's winning?
really locked in.
Yes.
I don't. I'm not playing it the way that you play with friends. Like there is a way to play it by yourself where you draw 4 cards instead of 3 and make it through. And I've just made up my own rules where I'm just trying to find one Christmas movie where I can get rid of all the cards.
Wow.
Haven't
Hasn't
made it
happened
yet, but this movie that we're talking about today, this time each year, is the most cards that I've made it through.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just been fun to kind of like, you know, I get excited. Bran, you were watching a movie this morning, and I heard you go mittens.
The cards,
like you get
stick
excited
with
about
you.
seeing.
It's
The cards
addictive.
stick with you. The cards that
A little traumatic, actually.
The cards that you weren't able to get rid of in
I
one
lost
movie. Yes. The cards that I was unable
There
to
are
get
no
rid of.
animals. Where
Yeah.
are the puppies and cats? There's no animals.
You keep thinking about him, and then you see him in another movie, and you're like, "Dadgummit, why couldn't I have had him for this one?" So anyway, Christmas Movie Magic, it's out right now,
And I'm undefeated, and I want to make
think
that clear.
Just,
Yes.
I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, of course you are.
Please share
For
your
sure.
thoughts with us. We'd love to hear
Yeah.
it, though. But I think it's a ton of fun. Dan, anything else that we need the people to know?
I mean, not off the top of my head, Bran, but I'm sure as we get moving, we'll figure out. Some
Are you
other
talking about the
things.
top of your head?
It's right there? What do you?
What's over there on the top of your head?
Oh, you mean that Greenville?
Yeah, that Greenville.
Oh my goodness!
Right on the top of the head.
Man, that was better than we scripted it. Bran.
I know.
It was so
we,
good.
we are recording it in Greenville, South Carolina, and we love Greenville. They come and join us every single holiday season because they realize that they are the perfect Hallmark Christmas town that hasn't had a movie made in it yet.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is, if you're looking for that small town magical feel that you see in these movies and you've wondered, does that actually exist? It does, and it's called
Yeah,
Greenville,
that
South
Greenville.
Carolina. So come on, join us. Lots of fun things happening this holiday season in Greenville, which we'll be telling you about throughout the season. And I think that's now it.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Let's
Feel good
dive
about
into
it.
this time each year, shall we? It originally aired on the Hallmark Mystery Channel on October 24th, 2024, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a montage of a couple taking Christmas card pictures together over the years. It is the McCall family, and they are loving each other until 2023, when Kevin shows up late to the photo shoot, and it is clear that his wife Lauren is very annoyed that
they
he
get
is
divorced.
once again late. Once again late. Cut to present day. Kevin and Lauren are separated. You hate to see it, and you also hate to see that sober Kevin gets fired from his bar job. That's right, the bar job that apparently his sobriety was a liability. After that, they all meet up at Kevin's family's house. Kevin and Lauren talk about working together to make sure that their son Charlie still has a great Christmas. When Lauren asks Kevin how work has been going, he's like, good, but doesn't tell her that he was fired. That secret does not last long as Mom spills the beans and Lauren is now upset and goes to leave. Kevin tries to stop her, and it becomes clear that part of the problem that their relationship has stems from maybe a past of lying and also financial hardships that have occurred after buying their dream house, which ended up being a money pit. Lauren is eating cookies in bed, which spoke to my soul, and she gets a call from her mom who tells her that she is coming to visit for Christmas for one day only, which is a big uh-oh because she doesn't know about the separation. So Lauren goes to ask Kevin if he'd be willing to keep it a secret for her mom, and he agrees to do a little fake Christmas in exchange for two things. One, they go back to couples therapy, and two, they get to go on their annual Christmas date, which happens this time each year.
This time each year, that's the name of the movie.
Okay.
Oh my
All
goodness.
So Kevin shows up, says hi to Lauren's mom, and uses this opportunity to kiss Lauren because he can't say no in front of
That's
mom. They go to therapy, which Lauren shares how her mother's judgment affected her growing up. Little Miss Mess is what her mom would call her because she never finished what she started. This is why she doesn't want to tell her mom about the separation or the dream house that's not working out. It's just classic Little Miss Mess. Lauren's mom, Janet, was only supposed to be there one day because she had a Christmas cruise planned, but it turns out the cruise was fake. She got scammed online. I would never. They decide to keep going with the lie, but it doesn't last long. At the ice skating rink, Kevin is late and is acting all sketchy about why he's late. Overwhelmed with emotion, Lauren ends up telling Janet the truth. They all go to a community center gingerbread house competition, which means it's montage time. At the contest, Kevin finds out that Lauren is in the process of getting the house ready to sell. This is news to him. He is sad. But when Kevin meets Jason, the real estate agent Lauren is considering, he gets a little jealous and jumps headfirst into helping decorate the house so that Lauren doesn't have any alone time with Jason. Later, Kevin's dad has to go to the hospital, and Kevin uses this moment to get very serious, promising his dad that he will help out more because he wants to be Brian's helper of the week. Kevin gets a job out of counselor's office. His goal is to become a counselor because, again, he wants that helper of the week status. But for now, he'll just be working in the office. Kevin forgets about their Christmas date, which was literally one of the things that he wanted out of going along with this lie. So he quickly sets up a projector in their quote-unquote dream house and decorates it for Christmas. He plays Lauren's favorite movie. They laugh, they eat Chinese food, and they slow dance to some Frank Sinatra. It's the kind of moment that brings two people together until Lauren's mother's special angel ornament breaks. Lauren is devastated because she feels like she'll once again be seen as Little Miss Little Miss Messy. But she does finally come clean to her mom. Just as she's telling her mom the truth about the angel, the handsome real estate agent shows back up and tells Lauren that they have an offer on the house. And it's all cash and it can happen ASAP. When Kevin shows up, he finds out that she is with Jason and assumes that it's a date and uses this time to tell Janet that her calling Lauren Little Miss Mess really messed Lauren up. So maybe you're the Little Miss. Maybe
Mess.
you're the Little
You
Miss
made
Mess.
a Little Miss
That's
Mess.
exactly right. Janet apologizes to Lauren for the Little Miss Mess nickname, explaining that she only called her that because her room was always a mess. Everything else was just a big misunderstanding. She then shows her that she fixed the angel ornament. Lauren remarks that it's even better than before, and Janet says, instead of hiding the imperfections, you use them to add to the beauty. What a lesson. Lauren rushes to find Kevin at the church, but he's off doing some deliveries because he is a helper. So she
Helper of the
teams
week? We'll
up.
find out.
We'll find out. She teams up with his family, and after church, they drop him off at the dream house, where she tells him that she no longer wants to just quote unquote fix things, but wants to work on growing together and use the things to make their relationship even more beautiful. They share a big kiss. Cut to Christmas morning. They're all together. They're taking pictures and they're happy. And that, my friends, was
This Time Each Year.
We did it.
That's right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're doing well today on this Tuesday. It's time to talk about This Time Each Year. It is where we dive deep into this movie, and we start with one segment, and one segment only. We would never start with any other segment. It's time for the hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this movie.
It's not time for book recommendations, Brand.
Oh,
dude, you know what I realized is that we wrote this kid's book, When's It Going to Be Christmas
Right.
Again? And every year it hits just as great as it did the year before. It doesn't ever get older. The book stays my kids are getting older, which makes this a harder read for me.
yes, because it is
Because
the book coming true.
That's right.
Yes.
But the book itself still hits.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of this book. You and I wrote it.
We did.
And you can find it on Amazon right now. When's it going to be Christmas again? I would check it out. Go for it. Go fight win.
Okay, I thought that we were doing the book
No.
recommendations later, so I apologize. So yeah, what was that?
Can I just tell a cute story about that book?
I would love it.
So last year I bought that book for my best friend's son. He just turned 5. And once the weather started getting cooler, she said that he's been asking, when's it going to be Christmas again? Because Auntie Erin comes home. And so it's a great
So
book.
not because of the book.
No, but like he's been asking, that's the book they read. I read it to him last Christmas. He's excited. And so she's like, yeah, he wants to know when's it going to be Christmas again. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So
There
it's a
you
great
have
book.
it.
It makes a great gift for all ages.
That's right.
Shout
Thank
out.
you. It's time for actually the hot take.
Oh,
It's where we
okay.
share-
That's
I
on
thought we were
me.
gonna
I
slide
thought
right
it was
by
book
it.
recs.
No. It's time where we share what
Sorry,
our
me. Yeah.
thoughts on the
Never.
movie. We don't hold back, and I'll start with you, Brian. Brian, what'd you think about
This?
I think it's the first Hallmark. Yes, the first
First
Hallmark
mystery.
mystery
Mystery
is.
of the year.
Christmas
Yeah.
movie. What'd you think?
I had this in my bottom 3 for a ranking
I
this
think we
year.
all
The
did in our
kickoff?
hearts. In
Yeah.
our hearts, I think we all had it in
Yeah.
our bottom 3. I gave it to you, but it was
Thank
also
you.
in my bottom 3.
Right, all of our hearts.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong about this one. I liked it. I did. I do think the moral of the story here is if you do family photo shoots, you're probably ending up divorced. So I'm glad
I think a yearly family photo shoot, professional,
it is something we've all thought about.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So be careful. Tread carefully, everybody.
One a decade, I think, is plenty.
Yeah. I mean, this is not per season. Are you kidding me? This was a sweet, relatable story. Very different than what we usually get on screen. It's kind of nice to not see a start of a new relationship. We're already in a relationship and we're working on repairing it. The family is super involved. The McCalls. What a family. I knew they were from Massachusetts before I knew we were in Massachusetts. This family, they really hit the tone, and they were a big bright spot in this movie for me. And I love the cruise scam. That was so funny, and it worked really well for me. So really well done.
You love seeing people getting scammed. Whenever it happens to Bran, which is like once a quarter these days.
He's due.
He walks in and you just laugh.
It is a hoot.
It's a hoot.
5 owls.
5 owls. Okay,
5
fair
owls.
Enough. Fair enough. Do we have the money for 5? I thought we only had the money for 4.
Man.
Oh, maybe it was 5. We didn't have the money for 6.
I think they wanted
we
the
had
6th
5.
owl.
Yes.
I'm with you, Brian. This movie surprised me because I also kind of went into it being like, sometimes the mystery movies, because of the pensive piano and the serious subject matter,
downers
can bum me out a little bit. We also started this movie at 7:30 in the morning, and so you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
So, but we turned it on,
Yeah.
and I was immediately struck by how well I thought Alison Sweeney and Niall Mater worked together. It felt real to me, darn it. Those two, it felt like a couple that is a seasoned couple and is going through a tough time. It felt real. And so I felt like the two of them just really made this movie better than I thought that it was going to be. It surprised me. The scene where he walks in and she kisses him on the cheek and he looks over and mom's there, so he's like, okay, here we go, it's time to kiss. That was funny. And so the scenes where they're talking about stuff that's happened in the past and you're just kind of like, what are they talking about here? That maybe that didn't work necessarily. Yeah. Some of it was like a lot of like, here's some backstory that we're going to tell you some about, but not everything, which I guess is on one hand nice because I could only hear so much about someone's tough time with alcohol before I get sad. So I felt like it's clearly something that happened and it's something that affected them. But they didn't harp on it too long. So on one hand, thanks for doing that. But on the other hand, it left me a little bit confused occasionally about what actually happened. But overall, movie was a surpriser. And that's all you can really ask for with a 7:30 a.m. Hallmark mystery, which is, again, that was my experience watching the movie, not yours at home. But I think regardless of when you watched it, this movie may have been a little surprising for you. Maybe been better than you might have expected. Dano?
I think this is a really good reminder how important, or at least how much expectations factor in to us when we rank these movies and when we rate these movies, because we did a draft, 7 hosts. Did anyone choose this movie? I think it may have been somebody's 5th pick. So not a single Deck the Hallmark host, all 7 of us had this in their top 30, right? And so I do think that matters because I wasn't crazy about this movie, but
Jax has it.
Jax has it. Oh,
yeah, so Jax chose it as her 5th one, and she picked first. So that was the last pick. This was
number
pick
35.
Number 35
about that?
in the draft. And it's definitely higher than that. I think Jax is going to get some points for that. I think if you look at the gigantic discrepancy between what I thought this movie was going to be and what it was, I think that's the biggest win for this movie. Could Hallmark Mystery pull off a movie where this guy was an alcoholic and did something so terrible that it caused his wife to leave him and then not tell us what it is? No, I don't think that they pulled that off. I thought that was very trite and very easy, and we never get to dig into these emotions because it would make people like Bran too sad. And I think that that's fair.
But basically, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the big thing was he was having a problem with alcohol, and he drove while drunk, and he lost his license.
We know he lost his license, and we
Yes.
know he was late to a photo shoot, but
Yes.
we don't know anything else specifically.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I kind of assumed that all that was. They didn't say anything, but I assumed that was all
And
connected.
I, in my head, am going, these two people love each other. The chemistry's great. It's the best I've seen Allison Sweeney ever. But she's not leaving him for that. Like in my head, it was like, I need to know the thing. I need to know the thing that happened. They're talking about a pretty seminal event here that happened, and we don't ever get that thing.
well, but it's
because
also the house, the financial
Yeah.
woes.
Yeah, I feel like
you
that
know?
was a huge burden, huge amount
For
of stress
sure.
in the
Yeah.
relationship. There's
for
probably
sure.
a lot of lying.
And I think that we're stretched a little thin here, especially with the house. There's some questions about what these people do for a living. There's some definite financial questions. Having said that, the two of them work really well. And I thought this movie was just an absolute grand slam of a 2 of 10 before I watched it. In the preview, I would have told you zeros across the board, not looking forward to it. It's a Hallmark mystery. It's Thursday night. It's a serious movie about a couple that's already been together. And based upon those standards, the fact that I have it probably is like a 5.5 out of 10 seems like a real win, So, hopefully it's a harbinger of good things to come.
Yeah. Let's get to all the feels where we talk about what the movie gave us feels, Brian.
Yeah, anytime we were at the McCall family house, yeah, thank you, Kevin, it felt really familiar. Like they felt like they grew up in that house. The brothers got along so well. The way the mom was she was like a nonchalant but bossy mom. Like they would be goofing around and wrestling. She'd be like, "Oh, you boys, knock it up." But then she would be on top of certain things. So like that, they just nailed that whole vibe of like, this is the house they grew up in and where they're super comfortable. Even though they're grown up, they go back there and they just start eating the food, rifling through the cabinets and slapping each other around. And so that worked really well for me. The bedroom was perfect. With all those hockey posters, like the only thing it was missing was that.
Is that how your room at your parents' house is?
Basically,
Well, and a
like
La Bamba
that,
poster,
La
of course,
Bamba,
yeah.
a soccer clock, and the only thing that was missing was a poster of Veritek shoving the mitt in A-Rod's face. Is all that wall was missing.
Before Zimmer gets out there.
He asked for it.
sure did, that old man.
He was asking for it.
Did you
So-
see the new documentary? on
Yeah, I
Netflix?
loved it.
Yeah, I
I
started
really-
it last night.
Really
I
liked
watched the
it.
30 for 30, and I feel like I've covered it.
Yeah, but what if you did a 30 for 30, but in 3 parts?
Yeah.
What if you did a 30 for 30, but
4
you made
nights
it
in October, I feel like
3
covers
times
it.
longer?
It was really good. So yeah, those feels that they nailed that family for Massachusetts Knucklehead family.
So I felt like the brothers, they were going maybe a little bit too hard at first.
Yeah, I'm
to
not
make
with you on the
But the
family.
thing that
No?
the
Okay.
thing that did work for me was when I think they were at the church towards the end, and when they say goodbye to each other, they slap each other
Yeah.
in the face real quick.
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
As somebody who has 3 brothers, that worked. And all the other like random things that they would do, like where they would do things at the same time or whatever, I felt like it was maybe a little bit forced. But that just quick little boop.
Yeah.
Right on the face. That worked real good. Dano?
The scene in his bedroom where he's talking with Allison Sweeney early in the movie and he's just holding back tears. That's peak Niall. And Niall's been on it.
I saw
He's
peak
been
Niall.
on it since the movie where he goes back at Rippin' Time. He's been crushing it. Everything he's done, he's playing a character. I mean, he's a different dude. And from an acting standpoint, really great choices he makes in this movie.
You know what I heard about him?
What'd you hear?
About the Rippin' Time?
Yeah.
Was that maybe you heard this too?
Yes.
But it was but I haven't talked to him about it to confirm it, but that he was a last minute
He was a
addition,
last minute
which makes that
replacement.
performance even better.
It makes it unbelievable. We did hear that from the same source, and we can't confirm.
We need to talk
deny.
to Niall about it.
But we heard that he was a very last minute replacement for that role, and to give that performance, I mean, I think it changed him because since then
And
he's
that
been on
kiss.
it, man. He's been like nonstop.
that kiss in that movie.
In the rain.
In the rain, forget about
Get out,
it.
forget
Kiss in
about
the
it.
rain.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get to the actual book recommendation of the week,
What?
and more here on Deck the Hallmark.
It's not our
It's the
book.
second.
It's not our kids' book.
Part 2.
Welcome
It's time
back,
for the wait what?
everybody.
Oh,
no.
it's not. Is
It's
it?
time for the book
It's
recommendation of the week.
embarrassing.
Actually,
Man.
it is Dan. You and I and our buddy Panda. We put out a book a few years
You guys
ago
already
called
did this.
I'll Be Home for Christmas movies. It's
Yeah?
another. It's this one. I think kids would enjoy it, but it's not.
It's not
only
when's it
for
going to be
kids.
Christmas again.
No, it's I'll Be Home for Christmas movies, and it's a lot of fun. It is a bunch of movies with synopses and fun things about them, some baking stuff, and it is a wonderful addition to your holiday season to have close
Great
by.
coffee table book.
A great coffee table book, and it's also just really nice looking, which is always a win. So that's available as well.
Wow. We're doing things, man.
I didn't realize that you were going to do that. I wouldn't have planned to do. I thought we talked about doing
Man,
it.
I
doing
thought for sure,
this one.
if nothing else, I could have the book recommendation of the week. But
Well, maybe
you know,
next episode.
maybe
I don't.
we'll see.
I don't know. I'm sorry about that. Hey, it's time for the wait what. It's where we talk about when this movie made us go wait what, and I'll start with Brian. Brian, what you waiting on? What you what?
Yeah, when are we going to get to the book recommendation segment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
a big wait. What?
Man.
I've been wondering.
Fair enough.
You know,
We'll get it. We'll
1,300
get it figured
episodes.
out.
We have our first book recommendation segment,
Can't
and we
even-
mess it up.
We'll tie it up
Yeah,
at the end.
we'll figure it out.
The first red flag that you're being scammed with a cruise is that the cruise leaves out of Boston in December. I think
Yeah,
is
yeah.
number one
Yeah,
on the
that's
list.
got to be one on the list. And the fact that she didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
it took me a little while to realize it when she came
that's
back to the
bringing buying
house.
a YouTube channel all over again.
Come on, man.
That was low. So yeah, that's just. I mean, maybe do a little due diligence there, or just plan not to go on that cruise in December out of Boston. I was a little concerned about the confidentiality of that couples counselor. It looks like all that's separating their very private discussions from the waiting room was just a glass
it is-
French door system.
It's almost like that is not a counselor's office.
yeah, almost. I didn't even hear a noise machine.
Yeah,
No, waves, nothing.
Nothing.
So
They
those people,
want you to hear. That's part of the. You can learn from other people's
that's
problems.
sometimes that helps. You hear other people
You
get away
hear
worse.
it, and maybe you don't even need to pay for the therapy.
Yeah,
that's
like,
exactly
well,
right.
you
These
hear
people are
that,
messed
that
up.
applies to
People
me.
don't think about that.
That's right.
When they walk in and they're like, "Oh, I feel good and safe because no one can hear all about my problems." Well, who knows?
joke's on
Somebody
you.
hears
Yeah.
about your problems. Maybe you help them.
Two birds, one stone.
It's the cruise out of Boston in December of counselor.
Of counselors.
So true.
Yes.
Kimmy, the poor real estate agent. Every time she enters a scene, it's in the middle of an awkward conversation or an argument.
for her.
It's just, I guess that's the life of a real estate agent. Like, you got to deal with those tough conversations. But I just felt so bad for her. She just kept walking in on just very awkward situations. Yeah, that was it for me.
Early on in the movie, they're over at the house, and one of the brothers, I think, goes to grab, or maybe it's the dad. One of them goes to grab a cookie or something, and mom slaps the hand. I guess they didn't get a good slap sound with the audio, so they added one. But what they added was a whip sound.
Oh,
they
it's
did.
the
So it's
like,
worst. It's like, bam. Yeah.
Which I thought was really fun. You never want
Lee
your
Hodo's
sound.
going to have a field day with that.
You never want your sound effects to stick out. You know, you always want it to be seamless. So it's always
Yeah.
tough when give me your hand. You never want that. You never want that to be the case. So that's tough.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
One more time. Their song was The First Noel.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
The first
you know what? We
Noel.
haven't
Beautiful,
had this in
though.
a while. We haven't had it in a while. And
I thought we'd retired it.
I thought we were retired.
Hey, coming on back now.
Coming on
should've.
back.
Bring it on back.
Our song
One hop this time.
was The First Noel, and I think it did make way for a really nice slow dance of Frank Sinatra's
And
The First
Sinatra,
Noel.
yeah.
And so it made it like when it was happening, I was like, oh yeah, that's their song, and they sprung for Sinatra in the Hallmark movie. This is nice, but at the end of the day, your song can't be the first.
It
Noel.
cannot be the first
Can't be
Noel.
the song about the Jesus. They
The
called it.
Jesus?
the baby,
The baby.
the baby.
The baby.
They go outside to decorate the house because it's not decorated
Yeah.
yet. And turns out that they were only outside during book reading time.
It's unbelievable.
When Janet was reading to Charlie. The amount of work they were able to get done. How many books were they reading? Did they read When's It Going to Be Christmas Again 1,000 times? Because even then, I don't know if
No.
that's enough time to do the amount of lights that
And
they did on the
then-
outside. Go ahead.
And then Niall Mater wakes up, forgets that it's the 22nd, and somehow still in a matter of hours has the ability to decorate that entire house over there, the Bay Hill house. The movie just
He had help though.
the
he
movie
said
he had help.
He said they had help.
but it gives a pretty unrealistic expectation on how long it takes to decorate things.
Well, the one
they
thing
make it
that they-
sound like it's fun, easy, fast, and it's none of those things.
But they did the outside assuming that it was like they clearly didn't have it all together because they're all tangled up together.
Yeah.
How it's just
yeah.
silly. As somebody who just recently decorated a gingerbread house and now has the respect for nicely decorated gingerbread houses, there's no way that some of these houses that were decorated was done in an hour. It's just impossible. They've got a full frost job going on some of these roofs.
full frost job.
Yeah.
jobs. These houses looked amazing, and I know they do it every year, so they have some practice. But
course.
in 1 hour, you kidding me right now? You kidding me right now? Last but not least, sometimes they do the thing where you're taking a picture at the end and you do a freeze frame, and the freeze frame is clearly not from where the
Oh,
person was
boy.
taking a picture, and you're like, well, that's tough. None tougher than this one where
my gosh.
the freeze framed picture is taken from outside the house through a window.
That's right.
That's tough.
Yes.
Who's taking that picture?
Yeah.
Shouldn't want it. Don't want to frame that. I
Especially
hate it.
when they had 5 golden opportunities for freeze frames,
On the
and they
inside.
just
They
kept
didn't do
taking
it.
more pictures, and then the freeze frame we get.
Let's freeze frame from
It's
the
from a
outside and
stalker.
on the outside the
Kimmy.
window.
Must have
It
been
must have been
Kimmy.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
It's probably Jason.
You know what?
Probably is Jason.
This is a mystery.
It's probably
Gunshot.
Jason.
Gunshot
Yeah.
Jason. Dano?
The kid in this movie, who we haven't really talked about much, they say that he's wearing this Santa hat, a Santa suit every day till Christmas. He does drop that later in the movie. And then also, when his dad comes back to live at the house to fake that they're still together while the grandma's in town, the kid just goes with it. He doesn't give it up at all. And here's the thing is, have they ever seen an 8-year-old before? The 2 things I can tell you about my kids are they're really good at keeping outfits clean and not giving up secrets at all. Except no, they're not. There's just no world where this kid doesn't immediately tell his grandma
Yeah, Dad
what's
doesn't
going
live
on.
here anymore.
Dad doesn't live here anymore. That's going to be within the first 2 minutes of meeting her.
Did you bring me a present? Dad doesn't live
Dad
here
doesn't
anymore.
listen, every year that we try, I've always wanted my kids to be able to buy, get their mom something.
Yeah.
And so I take them to the store. I'm like, what do you think mom would like? Think about what she would like from the time they're little. And still, every year, it's the day that we go buy that gift. When my wife comes to the door, they are immediately like, Mom, and I'm like, shush, 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 shush. There's no world. There's no world where he doesn't give that up. Can we talk about the world's smallest pizza for 4 people in the world briefly?
I guess so, yeah.
Offended.
Yeah.
The appetizers in 5-Year Christmas Party are bigger than this pizza.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
How dare you? how dare you film a movie in Canada with Canadian-sized pizzas and then act like we're going to think it's Boston? You would never see a family of 4, 3 of which are adults, and have that pizza delivered to the table. Is it an appetizer? Is it an appetizer for 2 people? That's a 10-inch personal pie. All of them are sharing it like it's meant for them to share. You have lost your mind.
That's a small, right?
It's a small.
Just a warm up to
Half
get
of
the
the
kids
pan
fed.
is empty. It is just, you cannot possibly. I was angry for all involved. No, that's not even pizza.
There's not even any more. No, they didn't order breadsticks.
There's nothing.
There's no other bread
There's
on
nothing
it.
else on the table.
Unless they finished it already.
A small cheese pie for
Yeah.
4 of us to split. They say this movie's taking place at Christmas. I'm going to take their word for it, but there is green everywhere in this movie. The trees.
It's Massachusetts
the
for you.
grass. It's classic Mass.
Green as can be. in
You
the
were
summer.
saying that the other day. You miss Boston
Oh,
in the
so
wintertime
green up
because down
there.
here, the trees are all empty, but up in
Oh,
Boston,
man, it's just flourishing.
the foliage up
a
there
late frost.
is,
Yeah.
is
Late frost.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
late
all.
frost. It's unbelievable. So they keep showing the Bay Hill house that they've not finished, and then they show the house that Allison Sweeney currently lives in. And the outside of the house Allison Sweeney currently lives in looks like it's maybe 1,200 square feet.
Oh, minuscule,
And the
yeah.
inside is cavernous. It is massive. And the juxtaposition there is quite something. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark's Where we wonder what could have been, maybe have it, get some clarity on any questions that we still have. Brian, what are you still wondering about?
Yeah, we find out Kevin is doing a recovery counseling program, and he's almost done.
Yep.
Like, we find this out very late.
It
Very
would be
late.
something he would have said
100%.
to hedge the bet of I lost my job.
Yeah.
There's so many times he would have brought this
So
up.
many times. Even
Yes.
in the very beginning when he gets fired.
It's almost
"Hey,
like he
man,
doesn't want to keep his wife.
Yeah, it's almost like that a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
So it just, is he, I got to assume, like I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that he is not just starting this, like he's been in it for, because this takes years. Like this
you
is
don't
not
just
a
become a counseling
real quick.
online in 6 months.
Yeah, like it seemed like since last year when he ruined everything, he decided to change his life and do this, but he couldn't have
In
because
12 months, he's going to get a degree in counseling.
right. Forget it,
I
and pay for it while they're doing all this the house nonsense. Like
Yeah.
forget it. So I'm just like, please tell me he started this years ago. Is all I guess. We sure about that?
He started while he was still drinking.
So it's not specifically recovery, but he had almost gotten his degree in like therapy because he says, I just need a couple more classes to finish my degree.
So the story, the timeline then is he did this, didn't quite finish, got into booze, and then after he got out of the booze,
counselor
the
killer,
last year he took the last couple of credits.
Is that the?
I mean, I
line?
took it as he wasn't specifically in like recovery therapy, like he was pursuing
Yeah.
regular therapy.
No. But he just needed a couple credits, and when he got sober, that was when he was like, "I'm going to finish
Clear head,
this."
clear
Yeah,
mug,
well, he
clear
doesn't
mug.
have it now. Like he enrolled in classes. He's finishing
Oh,
it.
I thought they said he was just about done.
So did I. Yeah.
No, because like he doesn't get the therapist job. He gets an administrative job
Until
and they
he
said
finishes.
when you finish, you can.
So I just
but
need more
he-
clarity on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I
the
think that's fair.
program.
It seemed pretty clear to me.
Not to
but-
me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not to
that
me.
sounds like a you problem.
It is obviously. I need baby steps through it.
My favorite Reliant K song is "I'm Getting in the Booze."
So what?
Favorite.
Getting in the booze because booze got to me in a way words can't describe.
What album is that song from? The real version.
Tongue in cheek.
Okay, that's why. What?
The Anatomy of Tongue in Cheek. Yeah, fairly certain. We can look it up. It's time for
It's a good What the Hallmark.
Did you already went?
Yes.
Mine's Jason. Jason, she goes out to dinner with Jason.
Be strong.
Jason said,
Definitely getting flagged now.
She says,
As
Oh,
if
I
Little
nailed it.
Romeo wasn't enough.
she says that it was, they were just talking about the thing, and Mom's like, Jason definitely thought it was a date. We never see Jason again.
Poor Jason, yeah.
Jason's out there thinking that it was a date, and then just got ghosted.
Yeah, Jason.
Not only am I not going to talk to you ever again, I'm also not selling my
Not
house.
selling the house, yeah.
A tough break for Jason.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happens with Jason?
Jason.
Jason, they had good chemistry. The
He
two
didn't
of them.
deserve this.
Jason, justice for Jason.
Justice for Jason.
He's a great guy. Dan?
Yeah, mine's pure financial.
Good.
What does if you know, please tell me. What does Allison Sweeney do? What's her job in the movie?
Business analyst or a business
Okay.
manager?
Right. And then he doesn't have a job,
Not
and
anymore.
Why you got to bring it up?
we
I
never
get
see her working. They have 2 houses in Boston.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the money pit of it all is going to be fixed just because they're back together. I just am concerned they're still going to lose this house. So what the Hallmark is, hopefully they make it.
Yeah.
I want not them personally. I think they're going to make it. I think they did a good job with their showing that their relationship is strong, but they're going to actually make it in their dream house, and they're not going to lose it later for less money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Time for double decker of the week. To slow that down, I actually sped that up. It's time for double decker of the week. It's where we dive deep into the life of the double decker that's signed up for Brainwatch M Plus at the all access tier. No, at the double decker tier or higher.
Yeah.
Sure.
We backed
The Deck
we
Hallmark
backed it up.
Plus.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Dan, who do we have today?
We have Liz Brophy. Liz
Yeah.
Brophy.
How
Liz.
about that?
Yeah. did a
Ryan,
little
you
deep
walked
dive.
in. You had a little spring in your step today. You're
Yeah.
excited about this one.
Yeah, this one hits on a lot of the things I'm interested in, actually.
Okay.
It's not a business per se.
Yeah.
It's more of like
Seems to be a
she's
running theme.
doing something with she's working towards something. She's Liz, a bit of a streaker. And she's really found a
A
home.
streaker like she runs naked everywhere.
No, Dan, come on. She's in the middle of a streak. All right, a real
What kind
long
of streak? What's her
All
streak?
right,
Her
that is
streak-
not a streaker.
She's calling it herself a streaker.
When someone's in the middle of a winning streak, like let's say the Magic win 5 in
Yeah.
a row, Brand would
Brand
would
would
be
probably
like they're
say they're-
streakers.
he might.
I'd walk in. I'd
He's
say,
gonna now.
Yeah.
She's streaking it. She's out there streaking.
She's
So,
out there streaking.
She has this thing. She's been going to a lot of like baking shows, and she keeps getting kicked out. And
'Cause
she's
she's
like,
naked.
no, it has nothing to do.
Okay.
She's fully clothed.
Okay.
It's get your mind out of
The
the
host
gutter.
is
gutter.
naked.
Yeah, no.
You're
Everybody's
the one
fully
that said
clothed.
she's a bit of a streaker.
She
naked?
is. She likes this streak she's got going.
Okay.
So she's on a streak.
The streak
she's a
is
streaker.
the streak is she goes on baking shows and gets kicked off.
She keeps getting kicked out of the audience.
That's the streak of the
That's her
audience.
streak,
She's not a
yeah.
contestant.
No, she just goes and she
How
watches.
How does she get kicked out of
She-
the audiences?
It's hard to say how it started, but she keeps getting kicked out for interrupting everything that's going on because as soon as they start baking, she starts going, "Hey, bada, 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 hey, bada," and just won't stop once she gets going.
Yeah.
And they say, "Ma'am, out." And so part of her, she's like, "Yes, streak's alive." Other part, bummed out,
This
wants to
seems
see
like
the finish good.
This seems like a pretty easy streak to continue, though.
This is a real easy streak to
Where's
continue.
Because the
around.
only thing so you think the
I'm
streak
concerned.
So how's it going to end? Do you
The
think
hardest
is,
part for me is there. I already know because I know you. There's no more information, right? Is there any more information?
That's what she's doing. That's
She's
what we found.
going to like cooking
Yeah,
competitions,
baking shows and just yelling, "Hey, bada, bada, bada,
like
bada."
batter, like the batter that you mix.
Yeah.
Hey, batter, batter, batter.
But it's
And she says,
she's
Do you think
swing.
she thought about that? How the batter is like similar to batter, or do you think, or did Dan is Dan reading too much into it?
no. I think she planned this. I
Okay.
think it started with maybe she was like watching a baseball game while she's at a baking show because it was a little slow, and so sort of.
This week on Big Time,
Bake this.
Bake this with Fred. Fred's gonna bake against somebody. Who's gonna win? Let's find
Oh,
out.
somebody doesn't stand a chance because I have for you the cookie batter of all cookie batters. Hey, can we quiet it down over there?
Hey, bada.
Hey, I know that
Swing batter, batter,
you
batter.
bought a ticket like everybody else, but this batter needs
Hey,
to speak
batter,
for its.
batter, batter,
Okay,
batter.
that's a lot. I'm gonna need you to not.
Hey, Fred.
Yeah,
Tickets
Tim.
are free.
Oh, they didn't pay anything.
No,
Hey,
they-
swing
Can we
batter.
kick them out?
We can.
Okay, let's go ahead and do
batter,
that.
swing
Let's get that streak going
Madam,
right
you're
now.
gonna have to leave.
Hey, bada.
Oh wow.
Yep, that's kind of how it goes. But it won't. I'm
That
afraid it
show
won't last
sounds
long.
good.
It
though.
does sound like a fun
They handled
show.
it pretty well.
Bake something.
Big time with Fred.
I'm just like, why does that make it to air?
I don't know. They would clearly edit that out.
It's live. I just heard in my ear. It's live.
Oh, it's a live show.
It's a live
That's
show.
where
They
they
do it
get
live.
you.
They do it live.
I think that's the problem right there.
Liz
Those
got to come
live
up with a
bacon
new
shows
streak.
will-
Yeah,
We'll
Liz
get you.
Brophy, everybody.
Liz Brophy. Let's take a break until tomorrow.
Forever.
No, just
take a
until
break
tomorrow.
forever.
We're gonna sleep on it. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the 5-year Christmas party. Everybody,
Yeah,
it's gonna
we
be a
are.
lot of fun. Until then, we're the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.